the British. There is also another article that I want you to read. It's called British Interest and Nigerian Tragedy. It is there in black and in white. Written by Michael Lipman. He got his information from cabinet papers. From cabinet papers in the UK, official government, UK government documents papers. Their hatred for Biafra, the UK hatred, natural hatred for Biafra, because we are a blessed people. They came to Arochukwu, they saw our temple, they saw the presence and the light of God in our lives. They said it can never happen. These are black people. How can God love black people? That's why we're in this mess today. How Britain doesn't believe that God can love black people. It's impossible to them. That's why they're doing what they're doing. But we're going to prove them wrong. The war is continuing. It hasn't ended. UK government papers, all these idiots writing about one Nigeria. Nigeria defeated Biafra. Nigeria-Biafra war. I ask you to do a little bit of research. Go and ask questions. Do a bit of research. Go and read up on document after document after document regarding the role the British played in the war. You will understand that Britain, the creator of the zoo called Nigeria, were the ones who actually prosecuted the war. And I'm very happy that these days a lot of people are beginning to repent. Those who were insulting me before, they're now repenting. They now understand that we speak the truth. That if I tell you that Nigeria is a zoo, believe you me, Nigeria is a zoo. If I tell you that Nigerians are animals, I'm telling you the truth. Before God and man, Nigerians are animals. It doesn't matter how you wish to cover it with your local pride. It doesn't matter to us how you wish to maybe see yourself. The fact of the matter is, as long as you are a Nigerian, you are an animal. You can't reason. Because my question to you is very simple. You as a Nigerian, created in 1914 by the British, can you go to Britain and create a country? The answer is no. Therefore, they are superior to you. And the only thing you can be superior to, of course, is your pet you keep in the house. And everybody knows that a pet is an animal. So that is why you're a British animal. That's who you are. And you never change. That's where your life is going to be forever and ever. Britain fought the war. Not Alamajiri, not the zoo. Therefore, this year in 2020, we must be very vigilant. Biafrans, we must redouble our efforts because our enemies have redoubled their efforts to deny us media space and to use certain journalists of Igbo extraction to discourage our people from following the path of truth and light which IPOB represents. One Dennis Abu, anywhere he is seen in Biafra land, my goodness, he will get the IPOB treatment. He has been paid by the Fulani North to spread falsehood and propaganda against IPOB, the only institution the Fulani Caliphate is afraid of. I said the only one, only IPOB. We are the only ones safeguarding our land. Without IPOB, they would have overrun us by now. Everybody knows this as a fact. Ozemena in Lagos. People without shame. No honor, no shame. Very, very sad indeed. They are doing the work of the enemy. BBC Igbo is among. BBC Igbo. BBC Igbo is amongst them. You see, BBC Igbo. I am the day it will happen. I will tell you. I told you so. Disassociate yourselves from BBC Igbo. They are Fulani agents. Britain sent them to destroy us. Look at the way they were gloating over the mess made by Supreme Court by announcing hope. You should have seen the way BBC was. Oh my goodness. BBC Igbo. Unbelievable. Some of you don't know that during the war, Reuters were bought over. Go and Google it. Britain bought over. We were giving them money to doctor their news in 1968. Go and do some research. I'm tired of researching for our people. It's making us very lazy. BBC, we are at the forefront of false news dissemination against Biafra. That is why they can kill us 1,000,000 times. They will never report it. Never in the truth. Never, ever, ever. Some of you do not know that they ganged up and they have their periodic meetings against Biafra. A lot of European countries know that Biafra is the light in Africa. So what they have done very cleverly is to say to Britain, if you can keep them contained within Nigeria, please keep doing so. We don't want those people to come and emerge as an independent nation, because once they do that, the whole of Africa will open up and the Africans will see the light. And we don't want them to see the light. We need people to, at least we can measure ourselves against. We are human beings and they are animals. But when, this OG, black people, black. How I wish that we can reason sometimes. How I wish we can reason. We must be vigilant this very year. Very, very vigilant. When we keep quiet, don't think nothing is happening. This is my first broadcast for the year. A lot is happening behind the scenes. A lot is happening. We are working very hard to dismantle the zoo, and most of our work are being made manifest on a daily basis. Facebook is against us. Google is against us. If you go to Google, no matter the positive news, however, the only ones they wish to highlight for people to read is, Nnamdi Kanu is a fraudster, so says Omahi. IPOB will put Igbos in diaspora in trouble. Oh dear. Life is very strange. Those who we are brought over by the Fulani to destroy our people are claiming that those who are defending our people in truth and in every honesty are the ones who are fraudsters. Do you see the irony of it all? It's just like Miyetti Allah, the fourth largest terrorist group in the world. Because they're part of course, you know Miyetti Allah is Fulani headsmen, going out and saying that people are terrorists when they're the ones actually, they go to your village, they rape, they pillage, they kill, they come out and they say, oh, there are terrorists in this village. Come and ban them. Malami, ban them, there are terrorists in this village. Whereas are the ones doing the killing? Something is happening in our land. Nobody can come out and say that they bought Nnamdi Kanu's conscience. No one. But once in a while, Dennis Sabo will write something and give to Vanguard. Vanguard will publish for them. And Google will put it on, just to discourage our, we are very feeble. Very feeble. Our conviction is not very deep. Look at what I heard. But you don't know if it is true or not. Have you asked? Have you even considered the possibility? I did not take money from Nigeria when I was in detention, when I was in jail, when I came out and they were trooping to my house to come and buy me over, and I said no. Is it now that they have killed my parents that I will? You people should get some sense, please. Some are so daft. Some of you will need to go and purchase sense. It's very, very important. Facebook is against us, so is Google, BBC, and other foreign media outlets. They have been contracted to help the likes of Channels TV and corrupt some local corrupt zoo journalists to discredit IPOB, but they have failed. We need to redouble all our efforts to make sure we have multiple relay stations across Biafra land. IPOB family members in diaspora are hereby mandated to make sure there is a minimum of 5 separate relay stations in every state in Biafra land. That is the way we can counter our enemies. They only succeeded in stifling us 50 years ago due to a very successful British-run media blockade all over the world. Some of you do not know the now seemingly respected Reuters news agency were bribed by Britain to present the British Biafra war in a way that demonized our eternal leader. The same thing they are trying to do to us today, but of course we are very savvy. This is IPOB. They know they are not going to succeed. They are wasting their time and their resources. When you observe the attitude of most Nigerians towards things that matter, then as somebody who quite rightly commented, why slavery lasted for as long as it did, 250 years. Selling our people did not start today. During slavery, when slavery ended, some of our people were not happy that it ended because their means of income dried up. The same thing is happening today. Somebody makes a living by doing boy work of Alamajiri that didn't go to school, and you're telling them that Biafra will come, everybody will be free, people will be this new shiny nation will emerge in Africa. They will tell you no. They will prefer to be serving the Alamajiri master. Look at Hope Uzodinma. Do you think anything is good is going to come out of him? Let's just consider it for a moment. He just said that he came forth, but all of a sudden he's number one. That is Alamajiri mathematics for you. I have never seen such ruling in my life before. Somebody who came forth is now number one. Oh dear. Oh dear. Today, many of these people will continue to sell us and they will continue to sell every blessed day. Ask yourself if they were serious. They claim that your leaders. Why did you not hold an event in our land to mark the 50th anniversary of what they claim to be the end of what I call open hostilities in the zoo? Why did you go to Lagos? Why? Because they know if they do it in our land, the land will come after them. Why did you do it in our land? Why not? But they ran to Lagos. And some of you are writing, oh, they're in Lagos. They're at Musan Center. In Lagos. Not in your land. And you call them your leaders. Our people are very, very funny indeed. How long are we going to allow ourselves, we Biafrans, to be deceived? When are we going to learn? We warned you that PVC and voting is a trap. Unless you're prepared to defend your vote, some of you did not see reason. Because once you get your PVC and you go and you vote, what you have done is to say to those people, do as you wish. Because you can vote for the best man or woman from your town, from your village, from your state, or from a senatorial district. They get to Abuja and the Fulani cabal will decide who goes. All they need to do is, oh, don't worry, just partake in the process. They come to Abuja. That voting you're voting in a human banner, the result of it will be decided by a tanko in Abuja. Not by you in the polling booth. Oh, I have voted. This is my card. You're wasting your time. What they're now going to do is that they will go mute for some time. They will keep quiet. And after a while, after a short while, you will see them, they'll come out again. Go and register. Oh, go and vote. Have you voted? Have you registered? It's our turn. Everybody knows it's not possible. They use one thing or the other to get you people into that groove, into that frame of mind of stupidity and ignominy. You fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. At the end of the day, you end up holding the very thin end of the wedge. Look at Imo State. Is he not gone? Is Imo not gone? When I told you not to vote, what did you say to me? Oh, you want to bring trouble in our land. You want to, those are the people who are against the advancement of Ndibo or Ganirundi. Idiots. They didn't go to school. People who went to school only 2 months in 4 years. The rest is strike. You want to compare yourself with people that are actually properly educated. Or you want us to start speaking with Queen's grammar so you will know. I speak the way I do so our mothers in the village can understand what we're saying. Come on, go. They think they know better than us. We know more than you do. You are not actually educated. We are the ones who are educated. And we in IPOB that are educated, they're calling us miscreants. Can you believe such nonsense? We told them that your PVC cannot work. After going to court, some of them are crying as even before. Even when Peter B lost, they came and were crying. Like the little village children they are. I told you, PVC will never, ever work unless you are prepared to vote, stand there and defend it. But you know what they have done? You can stand there and defend it now. As maybe Hedra did. Stand and defend it. They'll leave you. And after 6 or 7 months, you go to Abuja, they will declare a Fulani puppet, they declare him the winner. Now, the result announced in Ugawasa, they now come down to enforce it with Nigerian Army and Police Band with their AK-47 assault rifles, ready to kill anybody at will once you rise in protest. That's it. Some of you, let me now explain something to our people. This is where Yoruba media must take some blame. Let me tell Nigerians what they don't know. The time they were clamping down on IPOB with such brutality and ferocity, what they were trying to do is to make it impossible for you to come out on the streets to protest against them, not to protest for any change. But when you are busy writing your nonsense in Ibadan or Lagos, hey, those people, those IPOB, they are troublemakers. Those people from the east, they are trying to cause trouble. Because some of you don't reason. Because you compromised your conscience when IPOB was being targeted, brutalized, dehumanized, and killed. You supported the Nigerian government. Now it is your turn. Do you know why the zoo said, do you know why Malami said Amotekun should not stand, this Yoruba vigilante? Because they are hoping that we, being Biafrans, will say, because of what Yorubas did during the war, because of that, we won't support them. This is and then they'll go and clamp down on the Yorubas. They think we are stupid. You see? But we are sensible. That is why IPOB tonight we are pledging. And God in heaven is my witness. That we will support Amotekun, will support Yoruba in any way, shape, or form they want it, we'll support them. To hell with Alamajiri Fulani. To hell with them. I said to hell with them. To hell with them. And that is why they know now Amotekun will stay. They made that comment hoping to elicit a response from IPOB. Our response is that we will support our Yoruba cousins. We'll support them. We will support them. We will support them. You people are dreamers. You think you can be using people all the time. You think because a section of Yoruba media was against IPOB during the Fulani, during the Janjaweed clampdown, because of that we'll be against. Now we're not like that. We are civilized. We are Biafrans. We are different from other people. Very, very different. So, Operation Amotekun, this Yoruba vigilante initiative has come to stay. It has come to stay. It's not going anywhere. Your PVC and your voting is crap. You may vote in Enugu and put in somebody you like. If that person doesn't play ball with the government of the zoo, they go to the Supreme Court in Abuja, they remove the person, they come back with a squadron of soldiers to guard that very person into office. And he will go to his village, and his village will say, oh Chineke Gozelang is our turn. God has blessed us, it's our turn, and that's it. We hardly reason very well sometimes. This new Alamajiri judiciary, where Tanko is the head. Common arithmetic is no longer. I'll go to the arithmetic later on. Common plus and minus of numbers. How can 800 and something thousand people go to registered voters, eligible voters, 800 and something thousand, and then the final vote by the Supreme Court of Nigeria is 900 and something thousand? Where did they get the rest of the numbers from? Nobody can answer. Oh, it's the Supreme Court. It's the final court of the land. It's as God wants it. Supreme Court. Can you believe such nonsense? It's Supreme Court. Supreme Court. 5 people were registered to vote. For instance, for example, those 5 people voted, and somebody came forth. No APC House of Assembly member. No. Maybe now they'll start paying some of them to defect to APC. All of a sudden, the case went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said that 8 people voted. But the record from INEC says 5. Supreme Court is now telling us that 8 people should have voted. Unbelievable. And you claim you love Nigeria. Nigeria is my country. I can't understand for the life. Or is it God that made other animals that made people? Is it the same God in heaven? Or something else made you? Where are these judges or justices, or whatever they call them? Which planet do they inhabit? Which planet, I ask? Are you sure black people are normal? Are you sure that God in heaven is seeing what is happening? Are you sure that blacks in Africa, are you sure we are created by the same God that made other people? 5 people voted. There's a dispute. They went to court. The court is now telling us that 8 people should have voted. Oh dear Lord, have mercy. But the vote will not stand. Not in Imo State. It won't stand in Imo State. This is direct Fulani rule. That's what it is. The best they can do is to call for fresh elections. I'm saying it tonight. The best they can do, because we are not going to allow one Fulani puppet in Hope Uzodinma to be in Owerri, bringing Ruga and livestock in Owerri. No. It won't happen. They better call for fresh elections with international observers. They will be there, they will monitor, they will announce the result, and that will be the end of it. All this thing that Tanko and Abba Kyari is doing, appointing leaders, appointing politicians for us from Abuja, no, it won't work. It won't work. We are IPOB and they know what we're going to do. The only way out is fresh elections in Imo. I don't give a damn. I don't like it. I don't give a damn. I'm not saying that I'm useless, but we cannot allow them to impose somebody from Abuja. I am warning again. Remember I warned this before that you ignored. Today you're crying. You see Imo State. If we allow them to impose somebody in Imo, believe you me, everything else you do from here on in is babash. They'll wait for you in Abuja. Once you come to Abuja, they give it to the puppet. And we are finished. That was how they destroyed the great Hausa race. We will be destroyed. If we allow hope of them, we will be destroyed. Let the people of Imo decide. Abuja cannot decide. Tanko cannot decide. Abakari cannot decide. The Fulani Caliphate cannot decide for us. We must decide. If you're saying that 900 and something thousand people should have voted, okay, all well and good. Let them go to the polls and determine. Not Federal High Court. People saying Federal High Court is the highest law in the land. That is rubbish. It's the highest Sharia court in the land. And we do not obey nor submit to Sharia court nor Sharia law. We are Biafrans. And there is no shortage of fake prophets that will carry their news for them. That is, we must begin to reason. We must begin to ask ourselves questions. We must begin to be self-aware and self-critical. We must ask ourselves very pertinent questions. This way we are going, is it going to be good for us or not as a people? We must continue to ask, why is it that anytime any idiot that we know is compromised comes out and says something that God told him, we start jumping up and down like a bunch of fools? All these fake prophets misleading our people. The day of reckoning will come, and all the pleadings will fall on deaf ears. I can assure you. We can all remember how we formed the BSS. Have you forgotten? The same BSS we formed, they said it's not good. Some Yoruba people said, no, it's not good. They went and they formed their own, Operation Amoteku. Do you know the funniest part? And what I regard to be the height of hypocrisy is the total condemnation of the formation of BSS by Yoruba journalists, despite seeing the carnage that the Fulani savages brought to Biafra land. But when they faced the same problem, the daughter of Afanifere leader, J. Fashoranti, was killed. They quickly rallied and formed something similar to what we did with BSS. This is the level of hypocrisy that caused God to curse the black man. We are hypocrites. And all of them, all the Yoruba intelligentsia, their academics, all the Yoruba journalists, all the Yoruba lawyers, everybody is in line. They support it. They support it. But when we formed our own, they are, of course, you know them now, people who are hungry, looking for one alamajiri to pick them up. What is the difference between BSS and Amoteku? None. Just that we started it. We saw something we knew. Look at the same Umahi, those who were behind the position of IPOB because of BSS. Because they are blind. These are blind people. Blind minds. You see, they cannot see. They are blind people. Accidental politicians. That's who they are. They are blind. Very blind. But today, Yorubas are supporting their own. Do you see why Yorubas are progressing? Do you see why you build your houses in Yoruba land? See the way the reason? They identify a problem, they articulate a solution, they implement it. You in the East, you don't articulate, you don't see a problem. Even those who want to solve it, you go against them. We prefer solutions, and you come against us. That is your life. That is the way you are wired. That is the way you are. You can see where we are today. Now, Mike is claiming we wanted to do it before. Is it the BSS you disbanded? Who will join them in Biafra land? They said before, Forest Guard, nobody joined them. Because the order from here is this. No Biafran should join anything being organized by any governor because they are working hand in hand with Fulani Alamajiri in the north to destroy our land. They know they can form anything they like. They can come to paper and pay useless journalists to write rubbish. We are going to form this vigilante. We are going to form that rubbish. They know it's not possible. Who are going to be the foot soldiers? It's not IPOB. Where will you recruit? I'm asking you. If it's not IPOB. I'm sure that next time when we say we are forming, no, not forming, because BSS is always there. We are relaunching BSS, nobody will complain. When next I tell you not to vote, you will listen and you will not vote. And can you imagine if Nigerians had listened and didn't vote in last election? By now, everywhere will be peaceful. There will be orderly disintegration of the zoo. Everybody will be on their own. A new constitution will be agreed and arranged. Everything will be done peacefully. Because you won't see anybody to shoot. But they don't listen. They just don't know what's wrong with black people. They never listen. They never ever listen. Open on Facebook now. According to analysis, if you look at the BBC, you turn it upside down, you put it in, you vote, somebody will emerge, here they will come, and the image will be beautiful. Rubbish. Pure bunkum. Rubbish. They wait for you in Abuja. Come to Abuja and they will destroy you there. That's what I have done to Hedion. I don't know who he is and I don't want to know him. He's even part and parcel of the problem from the past. But Imo people must decide who will govern them. If you keep quiet now, we are gone. You see Imo State? They have done it now. Oh, leave it to God. Leave it to Supreme Court. Once you leave it, it's over. Completely over. You have set a very ugly precedent. They will go back and they'll say, in Ihedioha versus in 2020, this happened. That's it. It is called legal precedent. We must insist that we'll be voting in Imo State. That's our campaign. There must be fresh elections in Imo. There must be. The people must decide. Let the people decide, not Supreme Court in Abuja. Let the people decide. As simple as that. Let them invoke the doctrine of necessity and ensure that democracy remains. You people don't know what Fulani is planning for you. You have no idea. Now I'm saying it sounds like fairy tale. When it happens, Nnamdi Kanu said so. I apologize because before I was attacking you. I never knew what you're saying. Well, of course, I'm always right. You don't want to hear it, but I will tell you. We are on this platform, on this IPOB, on this microphone, on this radio Biafra. We are always right. The time now, I must say, is nearly, should I say, 18 minutes to the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. This is a live presentation. There are people I call Igbo One Nigerians. They always specialize in deceiving other Igbo people to believe in Nigeria. There are those in the so-called South or South. I don't know how many Souths they need. I said before, we keep adding South until you find them very close to Brazil. So I don't know how many Souths they need. All of our people, Biafrans, former Eastern region, all of us, as a people, must rise up and say we want to be free. We must rise up and say we want to be free. Yorubas are always ahead of. We're always ahead. Do you know because of this Operation Motekun, you will no longer hear of Fulani people raping or killing a Yoruba woman, Fulani people destroying farms, and it's gone. But today I saw a video of our mothers lamenting. Somewhere in Anambra, in Imo, crying, and their farm has been destroyed. IPAB cannot be everywhere. People sometimes ask us, what do you do? You know, people ask so many foolish questions. The money we give you, what do you do with it? And I said to them, the lives that we have lost in defense of Biafra land, what are you going to do about it? Do you know how many lives we are losing every blessed day? Do you know how many war fronts we are involved in Biafra land? Do you know why the Fulanis don't want to talk about it? They will not get their newspapers to talk about it because they know we are defeating them. They know we are destroying them as they come for their settlements. They know we are disarming them. They know that very well. That's what they want. So you want me to, every day I'll come on the air and I will tell you, IPOB raised $5,000 last month and we did this with this. We did this with this. People are so foolish. We have a case in Abuja. Let me not go too far because the world is listening. The world is listening. The Igbo one Nigerians with us like Kenyan and the Igbo Efulefu governors, the Nzuzu, whatever they call themselves, and they're hired online so-called intellectual, inconsequential buffoons who are in essence agents of Fulani Caliphate, always claim they know too much than those. They call us miscreants and urchins and yeah, urchin asked you not to vote. You voted, and now you're crying. Dear me, that's nothing we will not see. But conversely, in actual sense, they are the ones with a herd mentality that somebody quite rightly argued. They have nothing in their brain. They go, they pick up dictionary. They look at words. If you think I'm lying, go and interview any of them tomorrow. Just put microphone in their mouth and say, okay, speak about that thing you wrote 2 days ago. You see, they won't know what to say because they are dumb. They are dumb. They opposed me. The same Yoruba today that formed Nametogun, they opposed me when I formed when IPOB formed BSS. Because I only lead IPOB, I only represent IPOB, their views and their opinions. That's what I represent. I was opposed, called all sorts of names. I was summoned by Senator Baribe. I had to answer him. He summoned me to his house and I had to go and answer him. He asked me, are you armed? I said no. He said, why BSS? I explained everything to him. He said he saw reason in it. But those who didn't have the courage to summon me to come and see them, I call it summoning because he's my senior, he's my elder. If he summoned me, I will go and see him. That's our tradition, that's our culture. He summoned me, I went to his house to go and see him. Senator Baribe, I went to see him. And maybe some of you don't know this, or maybe you know, I don't know. He asked me, why BSS? And I told him why. And he saw reason in it. Or at least, if he did not agree with the entire modus operandi, but saw that there was a semblance of reason in the, in the idea behind it to defend our land. Everybody saw there was something in defending our land. Because I asked him, do you want our mothers to continue to be raped? Their crops destroyed? He said no. I said, that's what we're trying to do. He said, okay, as long as you're not armed, you're not going to fight. I said, no, of course, no fighting, no arms, nothing. But those who did not have the courage to invite me to see them, they ran and gossiped to their Fulani masters. And they say we should be proscribed. They stormed my house and killed my men. As a result of which, my parents took ill, and today they are dead. The Yorubas have done something. What have you done? Apart from one or two of you idiots on social media writing, what have you done? Nothing. The same nonsense every blessed day. Anything the Fulani does goes. Anything the Fulani does is okay. If they bring Hobo, fine. They bring that driver to Korocha that said he's contesting before for governor, whatever his name is, it's okay. But even if you bring one Haruna from Kanu and make him Muslim governor, fine by also. It's the will of God. Very funny people. Very funny people. Lagos. What they call the name again? Some stupid rubbish in Lagos. In Lagos, oh dear. Because their roads are so bad that their masters, the Yorubas and the emirs cannot travel to the east. They can't come to Biafra land because there's no road, there's no airport, all the airports are closed, all the roads are bad. So why don't those idiotic slaves from Enugu and over there, hello chaps, why don't you come to Lagos? And they ran to Lagos. This is inside Lagos. Useless set of people. Intellectuals. If that's what we call intellectuals gathering together, then there is problem. Then we should shut down all the universities because you're producing nothing. The person that made sense was Pat who told me. The person that made slight sense because he knows. He knows. He's the only visionary amongst them. When next we start, there will be Biafra because we will fight that war until the end of time. If they want us to fight the war for 100 years, we will fight it because this 2020, we know now what our fathers never knew between 67 and 70. Now we are far more equipped intellectually to fight this very battle. And watch us decimate the zoo from within, piece by piece. Then in your next life, when you hear IPOB and you hear Nnamdi Kanu, you will say, yes, they came and they did what they said they were going to do. Some idiot will say, what have you done? What have you done? Nothing. If they bring hope on them, okay, good. Oh, they bring head. Okay, it's even better. They bring Alice which way? Oh, fine. Anything they give you from Fulani, you take. And you're an intellectual. Intellectualism backwalk. Ndara. The same local outfit the Yoruba people and their media kicked against in Igbo land and formulated other propaganda against us is today what they are doing in Yoruba land. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. That is your lot in life when you have traitors and cowards as men and leaders. The same Ohanese and useless Igbo leaders that criticized and cajoled and castigated me for forming BSS without arms to protect our people against terrorists, against Fulani terrorism, are today praising Yoruba. Can you believe that? Nyamodekan was praising the Yoruba for forming Amotekun to defend Yoruba land. But when we did something, they were against us. The highest form of hypocrisy. So they cannot turn around and say, those intellectual, we are intellectual miscreants. We are miscreants, but we're intellectual. Those intellectual miscreants, that thing they did is very good, or they will never say it. But when a Yoruba man does it, it's very good. But when their own does it, oh no, it's very bad. That is leadership for you. Black people. This UG. Very black indeed. Very, very sad indeed, I must say. And they have declared, you see how clever they are, as I told you, they've declared it illegal, Amotekun is illegal. But they have Sharia police, they have Hisbah, they have what is called civilian JTF with AK-47 in the north. They have all manner of vigilantes armed and from the north. But once you try to defend your mother, your wife, and your family, you are a terrorist. You are illegal. What you're doing is outside the law. That's according to Alamaji. Allow me to reiterate. Any day, I'm saying this now very clearly. I know there are some Afonja, those are called the Afonja Yoruba, those that come from the stock that will always remain loyal to the caliphate. The Afonja Yorubas within the Yoruba leadership will be saying to their people, oh, don't believe what Nnamdi Kanu is saying. They want to bring us out and then abandon us. We are men of honor. Men of honor. And they know it. And they know that we know that they know that we are men of honor. We will support you every step. We will commit our men into what you're doing if you want us to. Because what you have done is the only way forward for the protection of lives and properties of Yoruba people. And we commend it. We commend it in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. We say kudos and well done to you. If you need our help, you will get it. You want us to remain in a zoo where a fourth-placed individual in a governorship race in Imo State is now all of a sudden the winner. From number 4 to number 1. Yeah, my goodness. How many of you now still believe that when we call for boycott, you should boycott? It has now been decided in this thing, in Abuja. When public discourse, as somebody was quite rightly commenting earlier today, when public discourse is filled with people that find grammatical sequencing more alluring than common sense, you know that you are in one almighty mess. This is our lot now in Biafra land. The time has come for us to pocket our what I call primitive intellectualism that is slowly destroying us as a people and allowing Fulani to take over our lives to the point of now appointing who is going to be your governor. That's what they mean. Do all your voting, all your campaigning, all your nonsense, all your ballot snatching. At the end of the day, you go to court in Abuja, and Abuja decides what happens. And then they will come and tell is it Abaka? This is what we're going to do. They say God told you. He'll come out and say, "Oh, God told me that is it who is it? That's not the sensible governor in our land. Oh goodness me! God said that they will be removed. They've told him that what is going to happen. They just say it. Let's see the reaction of the people. Some of you don't even know what is kite flying. Do you know what is kite flying? It's a very subtle way to gauge your reaction before they do something. That's what they have just done with Mbaka. But it's the work of God. Hey, unbelievable. Unbelievable. This time we're living in right now is so desperate that only the discerning can see the handwriting on the wall. This is not the time for zoo intellectual garbage. This is the time for action. And that action has to start from Imo State, because Fulani Caliphate have stolen Imo State from us, because they control the guns, they control the judiciary, they control the news outlets. They have fools that hide under the banner of Western religion to condition our minds for slavery. They made it look as if it was that idolatrous, graven image worshipping Mbaka that divinely decreed that Hope Uzodinma should win. This is the level of our hopelessness in Biafra land, which IPOB is seeking to correct morning, noon, and night. We don't have the time nor place for such nonsense. We must speak the truth, and that truth is coming forth. The Fulani Caliphate and the British before them have succeeded in rendering our land useless, because there is always, they always find willing tools and traitors amongst us, determined to do whatever it takes to serve their masters. The British started this nonsense with their warrant chief system, as I said earlier, which some communities converted to Igwe and Eze. The same nonsense that play now with governors' lodges across Biafra land. Unless our people listen, Bayelsa has fallen to APC. Imo has gone to APC. Anambra will go to APC next year. And before you know it, the stage is set for total Fulanization of our land. And by then it will be too late. Very, very late, because our people do not listen. Only IPOB can be trusted to defend and save our land. Only IPOB. Those risking eternal Fulani slavery are those advising you to go against IPOB. Anybody asking you to rise against IPOB is working for Fulani Caliphate. There, and I will write it down on a piece of paper. Anybody advising, go and look at their master. Go and look at the person who sustains them or the person who buys them data. That person is a Fulani stooge. That is the way it goes in our land, and that is something that we must correct as a people. When it comes to politics in the zoo, we are dealing with wild beasts, animals of the jungle. We are dealing with low-life scumbags that will sell their arm for crumbs, falling off the master's table. Our land is completely encircled with Yohanes and Dioshin and Herma. I don't know what they call themselves. Igbo and all the rest of them that always travel to Lagos. This is a circle of conspirators. They have come to enslave, to condition. No matter what the Fulani does these days, none of you get angry anymore, of course, except IPOB. They rape your mother. So it's another news. And that's just the news. You just dismiss it. No more righteous indignation. None. Because they have conditioned your mind. No matter what they do to you, you accept it. When we get our presidency, we'll correct everything. Don't believe such rubbish. The same people that went against IPOB, that the ones today issuing press statements saying that Fulani headsmen, they have license to kill without arrest. But you killed your own people. You called the same people, the same headsmen who are licensed to kill. This is from the mouth of Ohaneze and Dioshi. The same people who are licensed to kill, the same people who kill innocent men, women, and children without arrest. IPOB formed BSS to confront them. You were the ones that went to the same people and asked them to come and kill IPOB family members. But today you're talking that Fulani headsmen are licensed to kill. If they are licensed to kill, who is going to stop them? When somebody is a rampaging madman or mad woman, some people must stop that very person or group of persons. Who is going to stop them? It's not IPOB. Who else can stop them? Yorubas have formed a Moteku to go to stop the Fulanis doing something in their land. Who is going to defend our land if not IPOB? Who will do it? Because those you're hoping to go and recruit, they are all IPOB. Oh my goodness. Those people, I know that the hottest place in hell is reserved for them. Very evil men. Common apology, they can't apologize that they got it wrong. That what they did was wrong. No, they won't do it. But all we do is we come on Facebook and write rubbish every blessed day, some of us, talking nonsense. Is the zoo safe? The answer is no. Southern Kaduna will form their own militia because or else they will be decimated. We are under constant attack. Southern Kaduna Resilience Cry. Every blessed day, these Fulani Janjaweed, they're killing people. Every blessed day. And you're telling me about one Nigeria. Every day there is death, there is mayhem. They use a combination of media blackouts and British connivance to escape what I call international scrutiny and exposure. They go to court and they say to you, no, voting no longer counts in Nigeria. They don't like voting. No matter how you vote, they'll go to Supreme Court and they'll change it. The same thing is happening in our land. Dr. Hanese have now conditioned you. Whatever happens in Biafra land, you just to go with it. Until you get your presidency. They are complaining. Amotekun is OPC in disguise. Who will do the work in the West? It's not OPC. Who's going to do it for them? Because they recognize it's OPC that will do it. The same way in Biafra land. The same way in Biafra land. Only IPOB can defend our people. No other person can. The same way in the West, only OPC can form a Motekun to defend Yoruba people. The same way that only IPOB can. You don't want people to have their own militia or people to defend them. But in the North, you went outside the Constitution to create your own little groups. The Sharia police, the other day they said they arrested 10 prostitutes. Sharia police, not set up by the Constitution of Nigeria, but Sharia police in the North. And the same person is telling you, you cannot form vigilante to defend you cannot form your own police, but they have 4 or 5 different police, should I say, I won't call it department, formations in the North. 4 different police formations in the North. But if you come to do your own, they say, no, I'm not telling it's illegal. BSS is illegal. You cannot do it. But these people here, these Sharia police are arresting 32 street workers. Are they established by the laws of the land or by the Constitution? The answer is no. But because it is Fulani, who anything they want, they get. Anything Fulani wants, they get. And the only people who can stop them, which is IPOB, all our people do is to gossip against, or write rubbish against IPOB, to gossip. Including the Dennis Abos of this world, that claims he's a journalist for Vanguard. That's all they do. They are the ones killing you. These are the people killing you. Anybody asking you to be against IPOB, investigate that very person. Either himself or his master is a Fulani slave. They are the ones that want you to be Fulanized. They want to Islamize you. They want to destroy you. That is the way it is. And that is also a fact of life. For some of you who may not know, that is a fact of life. Death and destruction everywhere. Why do you have all of this? There's a place called Irigwe Land in Plateau. This no longer makes the news. On January 8th, 327 people killed It's no longer news. When they organize to save themselves, you ask them to go to DPO of the local area. The same DPO that is Fulani Janjaweed, Alamajidi, doing the killing. Before we know it, my only happiness is that all these broadcasts we make, we have them stored in archive somewhere. That's why I love IPOB. Anytime something happens, I don't know how they do it. They're going to pick out one broadcast where such issue was treated in the past. And revelations made about what is to happen in the future. They just play it. And some of you are repenting. And I'm glad that some of you are repenting. Because I don't hate anybody. We don't hate anybody. I can't come out and say something nasty about somebody who is a pleasant human being. It's not possible. If I do that, that means I'm not a nice person myself. If I come out to castigate anybody who is innocent, then I'm no longer doing the work of Chukwukabiama. Anybody I tell you is bad is bad. Go up, down, sideways, the person is bad. Yeah, in the fullness of time, you will see it. And I've told you. You're telling me you have leaders in a land, in Enugu State. They came to Nimbo, they killed us. And when they were killing us, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi was calling somebody, they said it was Buhari then. The person never answered. He called the 82 Division, they never answered. He called the police, they never answered. Until the Fulani finished killing our people and they left. Only then did they come. From then till now, those that tried to do something to stop such occurrence in the future, they conspired against them. They brought in Fulani to kill IPOB. Therefore, if your mother has been raped, if your community has been invaded, if your farm produce have been destroyed, blame it on Ohaneze. Blame it on Igbo governors. Blame it on those that claim they live in Lagos and in Abuja. Doing intellectual work for the Fulani. They're the ones to blame, not us. Because today, how many of you have called to support the efforts we are making in Ebonyi to stop Fulani headsmen from taking foothold there? Some of you don't know. You don't know. Do you? 327 killed. And who is doing the killing? All Fulani. They're the ones doing the killing. They are the only people allowed to kill other people. Remember when they went to my barrister's house and destroyed everything and killed 10 people there? But I've been waiting since the bandits ambushed the Nigerian Air Force. I think it was Thursday of last week. In a place called B.L.M.N Gwari Road in Kaduna State. Yes, Kaduna B.L.M Gwari Road. Were any houses destroyed? These are bandits. They killed Nigeria Air Force. I'm asking, Nigeria Police, Nigeria Army, DSS, did you burn people's houses in Kaduna as a result of this? The answer is no. But if this were to happen anywhere else, they will come, they will destroy buildings. They are still setting our markets on fire. When this fire outbreak started, I told them it was caused by Fulani people, that this was terrorism. They didn't believe me. Today is happening. Now they are killing people now in Kaduna. These are Fulani bandits in the north, killing people in the north. Have they stopped? The answer is no. Anybody arrested? No, of course not. Nobody has been arrested. That you are telling me that I should belong to one Nigeria. And they're even telling themselves to speak out against insecurity, the way they spoke out during Jonathan's regime. Those who are doing the killings, those who are doing the killings in the north are all Fulani people. That is a fact of life. That is only what they know to do. Because tomorrow they will come and claim that the lawlessness in the country is caused by people who are from outside. But I must commend the lives of Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka. I think I got pronounced his name correctly. Who said, quite rightly so, or tried to echo what we've been saying, that the only difference between the federal government and Boko Haram is that Boko Haram is holding a bomb. The federal government of Nigeria, believe you me, is a terrorist creation. You know, America may accuse other countries of financing terrorism, but I'm telling you, I am telling our listeners this evening that the primary driver of terrorism in Nigeria is the Nigerian government. They are the terrorists. But by the day you realize it, it may be a bit too late. But we keep saying it, that they are the harbingers of terrorism in the zoo. In the zoo. And they claim, as I said before, that illiteracy is the cause of their problem. They don't go to school. They've been ruling Nigeria. They are the ones ruling. They control NMPC. They control customs. They control the air. They control the sea. They control land. Everywhere. They're everywhere. Stealing money, making money, looting money. But they don't go to school. And now they are saying that because of their high level of illiteracy, that more terrorists will emerge from the northern part of Nigeria. But Britain loves them. In fact, the more terrorists they produce, the more Britain loves them. The more they are reducing the number of people. I have said this thing before and I will say it. I don't know how correct I am, but something tells me that it is right. Somebody somewhere loves the population reduction work of terrorism in Africa. The only way you can solve that, I think I read that Boris Johnson said he will try the best he can to defend Christians. The best way for you to defend Christians is to make sure that Nigeria is divided. Divide Nigeria, you save lives. Keep Nigeria one and people keep dying. As simple as that. Yes, he actually said it in the Telegraph. Telegraph reported that Boris Johnson, the new UK Prime Minister, said that he will protect persecuted Christians abroad, following a bishop carried out a review in their place. How do you... This is what I want the Southern Kadunans to understand. I want the Middle Belt to understand, and I want our people in the West to also understand that the only way to save lives in Nigeria is by dividing Nigeria. If you say no to the division of Nigeria, the Fulani Islamization agenda, or should I say the Fulanization agenda of the Caliphate North, will continue unabated. Allow me to repeat. If you insist, I'm saying this both to... Because what we can say is that once we have Biafra, the northern Christians can come to Biafra and live in Biafra land, if they so wish. If you keep Nigeria as one, the drive to Fulanize Nigeria will continue relentlessly. It's something they've signed up to, and they must do it. That very religious space or Christianity competing with Islam will not hold in Nigeria. It's impossible. Write it down somewhere. So what we're saying to Boris Johnson this very night is that the only way to ensure that lives are saved is to divide Nigeria. Let everybody go their own way, the same way we were before Lugard and the rest of his crew came along. Once you rise up to speak, I don't know if some of you actually know that Adamawa youths actually blocked the highway in Adamawa. I don't know if some of you know this. And nobody was shot dead. Nobody was killed because it's happening in the north. Because of incessant kidnapping. But they tell you, oh, there is insecurity in the southeast. There is kidnapping in Uzakole. Everywhere across the north. I told them, I don't know how to say it in English, but I say it in the language of heaven. I can see Hagabahon. They have killed so much people, spilled so much innocent Biafran blood that they have now turned and they're eating themselves. They have not, of course, they're still continuing killing people in the south, but they're also killing Christian minorities in the north. And I'm saying to the Christian minorities in the north, the only way you can be safe is in a nation called Biafra. Only if Biafra comes. Only if Biafra comes. Because even those who we are close to the government, even I feel sorry for Sheikh Husani. He's been locked up. Nobody's campaigning for his release. Sheikh Husani has been framed and locked up. That is the Nigerian judiciary for you. That can wake up one morning and tell you that a man who came forth in an election is now number one and everybody's clapping. They have locked up Sheikh Husani and nobody is campaigning for his release. He's done nothing. If you criticize them, you're locked up. Will Britain do anything about it? Of course not. Britain loves what is happening. They love what is happening. It is their zoo. They can treat the animals however they wish. The story in Imo State, before we bring our program to a close this very evening, the story in Imo State is a very funny one. It's a very funny one, and we must do this maths for the whole world to understand how funny it is. And we must do this very maths for the world to understand. And the only credible way out of the mess in Imo State is for fresh elections to be held and for foreign observers to come in and to allow total live coverage of proceedings of that very electoral process. The idea of imposing hope, Uzodinma, on the people of Imo is intolerable. I'm telling you the truth. Intolerable. And I'll tell you why. This is what the world must understand about Nigeria. We're no longer saying that Nigeria is corrupt. Nigeria's judiciary is so primitive that it needs help. Where that help will come from, I do not know. It needs help. And the sooner that zoo divides, the better for everybody. And I'll tell you why. A total of, listen carefully, according to INEC, the total number of people accredited to vote in Imo State, the total number was 823,743. Those allowed to vote, accredited to vote, according to INEC figures, Imo State governorship elections. But according to their figures, only 739 people, 485 voted. Out of that, 25,135 votes were cancelled or voided by INEC for irregularities, therefore leaving us with a total figure of 714,355, which means, in simple English, for somebody to emerge as the governor of Imo State, you must gain a majority of 714,355 votes, according to INEC. This is not according to anybody else. According to INEC. This is INEC. How, therefore, listen carefully, did the Supreme Court of Nigeria, sitting in Abuja, that we are not privy to the election, with INEC register in front of them, come to the ridiculous total of 927,630 votes? How was that done? INEC, listen carefully. INEC submitted figures and said, we accredited 823,000 people, 743 to vote in Imo State. Out of that, 739,485 actually voted. Now, what we are asking is, where did Supreme Court of Nigeria get 927,630 people? From where? Does it mean that Supreme Court in Abuja we are doing their own accreditation? I have no idea. I have no idea. But maybe the world or those they claim came to observe the elections can tell us something about this. It is quite perverse. Very, very perverse. Making Hedon has scored 273,000 votes. So 273,404 votes. Uche Nwosu, 190,364 votes. Ifeanyi Rume, 114,276 votes. Hope Uzodinma, 96,458 votes. And other parties had 39,433. Where did they get the number for Hope Uzodinma to bump him up to 309,000? Did they add the votes of other parties? Because let us not be stupid. Uche Nwosu campaigned under a different political party, registered and contested under a different political party, not APC. So my struggle is, where did they get 213,299 votes from to give to Hope Uzodinma? From where? I can't see it here. Did they combine I can't understand. Did they combine the vote of Uche Nwosu, Rume, and Hope Uzodinma? Nobody knows. What is going on? What type of country is Nigeria? What type of legal system? How can people now stand up and say that those people are learned, my learned lord, my learned whatever they call themselves? Do you see our problem with Nigeria? can you at least understand our problem with Nigeria and see that Nigeria is unsalvageable? Nigeria is irredeemable. There is something devilish and satanic about Nigeria. They lie, they cheat. It is in their nature. Being a Nigerian means you're a liar, you are a liar, you're a cheat, you're a thief. That's the meaning of Nigeria. How can judges sitting in the Supreme Court come to this type of, should I say, devil's arithmetic? How did they come to these numbers? Because Nigeria is corrupt. The world needs to understand. The world, Britain must understand this. That unless somebody somewhere is enjoying the killing, the misery, and the pain that people are going through, the best thing to do is to allow people to go their separate ways. That is the only way to solve this very problem. And this charade cannot hold in Imo State. It's simple, because people shouldn't analyze too much. The question is simple. To the Supreme Court of Nigeria, to the Chief Justice Tanko, the aeroplane turner, what he needs to answer is this very simple question. How did you get the extra votes to bump up INEC figures to 927,630? I don't forget all the analysis, because we are black people. If you go into complex analysis, people will not understand what you're saying. What I'm asking you is this. Ask the Supreme Court a very simple question. From where the accredited number of voters in Imo State was 823,743 votes. How did you get 900 and something? From where? Are you saying there were those that came to vote for Hope Uzodinma and INEC said they won't accredit them? Is that the evidence before you? Because that is the only logical or plausible explanation. That there were some people that came to vote, and when they came to vote, the INEC said, "Oh, who are you going to vote for? Oh, Hope Uzodinma. Because of that, you're not going to. I won't accredit you." Is that what you're saying? Because if that is not what you're saying, I don't want people to over-labor this issue. Is very simple. The question we are asking the Supreme Court of Nigeria is, how did you arrive at a total figure, a ridiculous total figure of 927,630, when INEC themselves that conducted the elections on the ground only accredited 823,743 votes? And if I may ask, if you're saying that those who were not accredited, I'm just assuming that you're saying that those who weren't accredited were going to vote for Uzodinma, for Hope Uzodinma. How would you know this as a judge? Are you not supposed to base your judgment or your ruling on the facts before you? How are you going to know that they would have voted for Hope Uzodinma? The world must know that this is why we call Nigeria a zoo. Not that we hate anybody. The people, the animals, it's just unbelievable. And people, rather than coming out and looking at the injustice inherent in this ruling, people are saying, "Oh, leave it. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. Let's leave it until next time." Was that what America did and they got to where they are today? Or any other civilized country for that matter? How can people learn from this? So that is why we are saying no, and we are not going to allow this travesty to continue. This is as a result of the situation that Britain put us in, as a result of the continuation of the one Nigeria mantra championed by Nnamdi Azikiwe, championed by Nzobo, championed by Agui Ironsi, championed by the Fulefus in Ohanese, that has kept us in bondage till this very day. Those chains are what IPOB is here to break, and we are breaking them. We are making progress, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that is going to stop us. That is why everybody must join IPOB. You must support IPOB. You must encourage IPOB. You must do everything within your powers to make sure that IPOB succeeds where you are, because we are the only, I wouldn't say last line of defense, we are the only line of defense between you and Islam, should I say, Fulanization of our homeland. Only IPOB. We are in Ebonyi right now, fighting in the bushes. to keep our land away from the vandals from Sahel. You should be grateful to IPOB every blessed day as you pray to God each day. Before you ask God to bless you, ask God to bless IPOB. Before every blessed day. Because we are the ones defending our land. No other person is. We are the ones dying to defend you. You may not know, but we are the ones doing the very hard work. Some people in the diaspora from Ebonyi, now they know. Some of them called to thank IPOB to say they never knew what we were doing on the ground until people rang them from the village to say if not for IPOB, they would have been finished by now. That is why we know our work is divine. And that is why we know we have come here to fulfill a divine mandate. And that very mandate is the restoration of Biafra, which is why we proudly and unequivocally proclaim that Biafra is our religion. When you ask me my religion is Biafra. Because Chukwu Okike Abiama, the God Almighty, Supreme Elohim in heaven, is our God. Those are the things you must know. We are not going away. Biafra is coming. And there is nothing the enemies will ever do to detract us from that very inevitable reality. I thank you all for listening. From me, from here, it is good evening.